First Watch with Sheriff Mark Daniels on KWCD Bisbee Sierra Vista. Hosted by Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
And welcome to your Friday. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
So it is graduation season. Let's start with project graduation because that's where you were at last night.
Yes, I know half the studio's not here because they work project graduation, took the morning off. I'm here. I just want to throw that out there. Yeah, it was a long night of happy kids, excited kids, energized kids, and our future out there. And what a great night. I got to give a huge shout out to our Rotarians, Rotary, who puts that together, our San Pedro Kiwanis, who runs the Buck Store, which is the gifts the kids receive. They stand in line waiting to get their gifts. And we're talking not just, here's something small. No, we're talking refrigerators, gift cards over $100. I mean, it's amazing how the San Pedro Kiwanis and the ladies and the men over there to put that together. And, they start shopping in June. So once this is over, next month they're shopping to make it happen again. So it's been a tradition. One of my lieutenants, Ray McNeely, and I, and Dave Dion, Leo Tobolsky, a whole bunch of my team was out there working the games last night. We worked the Buck Store. And then I saw HSI, huge shout out to HSI. That's our Homeland Security investigators at the federal partners there. They were out there in full force last night doing the adult tricycles. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
They were doing that. I want to jump on there so bad, but I know it wouldn't be good. But yeah, the kids were doing outside in the back. They were doing a little race back there. But Les from ACE used to run that all the time. But HSI was in full force there at project graduation here at Buena last night. I saw DPS, our Charles, sergeant from DPS, always at it every year. So, Charles, thank you for being there. Our SAT team working with Sierra Vista Police Department with all the traffic, that thing was huge. And then who else was there I'm missing? So, make sure I get everybody. Oh, Justin, my son, was out there last night working the Buck Store with us. So, Lieutenant with Sierra Vista PD. So, again, just a really nice event for the kids. And the reason we do it is safe event.
And so you were also at Cochise College's graduation.
Yes, last Friday they had their, and let me say, what a record event. In fact, we're about 10 minutes from starting, and it was jammed, the cars trying to get into Cochise College. So they asked me, hey, can our deputies work that graduation? They said, can you help them get in? So two of our deputies went out there, helped streamline the traffic and to get them in there. But even about 20 minutes as the event started, they were still flowing in there. So huge of turnout for Cochise College graduation. But also, they had a record number of graduates from Cochise College, from their certificate programs, their associate's program. And so, again, just amazing how that community college is so instrumental here.
Congratulations, Stephanie. She's one of our employees. She graduated with her associates in criminal justice, and she's going to keep going.
Oh, that's amazing. And Cochise College, just a big shout out for them. They have a 4-year program now. You can get a bachelor's degree right here in your hometown of Cochise College. It's just amazing when they have that. I wish they would have had that back in the day when I was getting mine.
And also, speaking of record number of graduates, ALA graduates, that's their first record.
It is. Inaugural graduation, ALA, American Leadership Academy, they graduated eight of them. I mean, didn't take long. Didn't take long, but again, it's a start. Give that school 5 years, see where it goes and stuff. But it's just nice to see, all this youngness, this energy, and there's such an intelligent generation coming into society to start being, let's face it, as we look around here in this room, that's our future.
And you also have something exciting coming up Thursday with our academy graduation.
Yes, our police academy graduates Thursday at 2 o'clock at Cochise College at the Student Union in Sierra Vista. It's open to the public. It truly is. And they pack it in there. So this coming Thursday, 2 o'clock, Cochise College. It's actually a small class. I'll just say we have, what they tell me, 30, 40 for the next class.
9 this time.
And we graduate 9 this time. And not that we didn't start that way. This academy is not, we don't stamp people coming through the academy. You have to earn it to graduate. The right caliber person has to wear the badge. It's just not like, hey, you did well, yeah, you're all right, no, we're going to let you graduate. No, we don't let you graduate. So only 9. But again, these 9 earned it, so come out and support them from agencies. I think we have 4. Is that right? I think 3 or 4 or something like that from the sheriff's office. We lost a few during the last 3 months. But again, come out, support it, and they'll be excited on Thursday at Cochise College there too.
And last week we talked about Top Cop, and we had that ceremony, and we know who the winner was.
We do, and let me just thank all the agencies from DPS, to Department of Transportation, Benson, Douglas, Sheriff's Office, Fort Huachuca, Homeland Security Investigations. I mean, all the agencies. I think we had 12 agencies,
Right.
Carol, that put in. But at the end of the day, after we recognized all the nominees, one. And who picked it this year?
The Legacy Foundation. So thank you so much to all of the people over there, Dr. Hepburn, Julie, everybody who was on the group. Thank you so much for offering to do that. And they've offered it up again for next year. But they read all of the nominations. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody with their finger in the pie. And that's nice that they have an overview, an outside look, and they're able to make that selection.
Well, what's also nice is we recognize every nominee. It's not like you just name gets on a piece of paper and you're read on a brochure. No, actually, we recognize each one for being their nominee. And at the end of the day, yeah, the legacy. Everybody thinks that the sheriff's office, since we host it, we're the ones picking. We don't pick it. No. And Carol, thank you for what you do on this. I know you spend a lot of time putting this together, and Grady and everybody that puts this together, the committee, and this year service to PD staff that jumped up there and helped us. And thank you, Chief Heiser, for hosting it at his venue this year. But ultimately, one was selected, and that goes to Detective Esmeralda Mendoza from Bisbee Police Department. So, and people, it's so suspenseful. Everybody's waiting to see and stuff. And I gotta say this, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, the sheriff's department put this on for what was our 8th year? I think it was."
Correct.
We've never won it. Just want to throw that out there. We've never won it, so never say there's a controversy with our Top Cop. But yeah, and there's such tough competition. So, but again, to the Bisbee Police Department, the city of Bisbee, and all of them, and congratulations.
And it followed right after a Medal of Valor ceremony. So the city of Sierra Vista, the Chief Heiser put that on, and I think that turned out really well, recognizing Sheriff's Office personnel, Bisbee Police Department, and U.S. Border Patrol, who were involved in a critical incident last year. So that was instrumental in letting people know what are some of the things that were going on.
Yeah, that was an incident where a guy was wanted for kidnapping, murder. Just shot somebody in Pima County, allegedly. Let me just put it that way. But and then the information got to us. Our deputy, Sean Maddox, spotted the vehicle down in the Bisbee area, assisted by Officer Chavez from Sierra Vista Police Department, Detective Valenzuela from Bisbee, and also Border Patrol Agent Gamblin, that all became involved in this incident. It turned to be a pretty wild shootout going down the highway. They were shooting at him, our officers, and then it went to a cul-de-sac, which the shootout continued, and the suspect who survived the shooting, amazingly enough, I just heard it on the radio this morning, Jacob Netherby is the suspect in this. He survived. He's up in Pima County, just got indicted on the murder out of Pima County. But either way, we recognize all 4 of the people I mentioned there under the Medal of Valor. Medal of Valor is like the utmost award any law enforcement can get, and most of them don't ask for it. They put in situations where they've earned it.
And so you've been busy. So we were talking last Friday about the Huachucan dinner, and you went over there. One of the big things that as a result of that is they auction off a day with the sheriff. So what was your total this time?
$20,000.
Wow.
And the Huachucans do an amazing job of helping kiddos in this community. So it's an honor to do that. This year, I did last year too, I brought up Lori Zucco, our county attorney, and Chief Heiser, which is really nice to see him be involved in this. So they are the bonus. So we're going to split the day 3 ways with the winners. There was actually Kevin and his wife, and then Bob that won it. So $20,000. But what's great about it is that $20,000 goes toward the cause to help kids and programs, sporting events and stuff, whatever the need may be. But it's an honor to do it. I enjoy doing that, and we had a lot of fun. Jeff Davenport emceed it, but let me tell you, we start off on some guy, 2,000. Then he goes around 2,500, then go up to 3,500. It just crawls. It takes about 30 minutes, and then finally we hit 10,000. I mean, $20,000. That's a lot of money for, ride with me and get a soda pop. I mean, I don't tell people, but come ride with me. I'll buy you a soda pop anyway. But this is a great cause.
Also, you were in Washington State. What were you doing there?
As president of the Western State Sheriff's Association, I traveled to, and let me define what Western State Sheriffs is. It's sheriffs west of the Mississippi. And so I think it represents 1,200 sheriffs. So as their president, I traveled to their conferences, their meetings, And so Washington State had theirs, and they share it with their troopers, their police chiefs, the FBI, and anybody else who wants to show up, I guess. But the sheriffs in that state all wear a green suit coat. And what a diversion. Some sheriffs all wear Western, but they have those in business suits, but they all wear green sports jacket. So I walk in, I go, why are you guys wearing those? And that's their brand. That's their brand. So if you walk in and see a green, and it's a kind of a bright green. I'm not
Like the
being mean.
Masters.
Yeah, like the Masters. Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody made that comment to him. Do you win the Masters? But yes, that's how you can brand a sheriff at these conferences. They're wearing that green suit. So I called one of the sheriffs in Arizona and go, hey, we need to wear sport jackets. And they laughed at me. So that probably ain't going to happen in Arizona. I'm just throwing that out.
And also, you need to pronounce where you were.
Yes, that was the controversial thing. And one of my commanders, Kenny and I, when we were heading up there on the airport. And by the way, if you haven't flown lately, trying to get to a destination is not as easy as it used to be. I'm going to say this is going to sound horrible, but once the friendly skies is no longer, it's just amazing. And so, long story short, though, as a pilot, kudos to the pilot, because I say it's Spokane, and you call it Spokane. But think about it. It's not candy can. It's candy cane. So where's that E in Spokane? You see where I'm going with this? And so Kenny's like, listen, man, you know what you're talking about. I said, no, there's an E on the end. You can't ignore that E. So as we're landing into Spokane, because I'm going to call it what I think it is, the pilot said, and the weather in Spokane. I said, Kenny, listen, do you hear the pilot? This is a pilot. And so that was the big thing. And when I was speaking to the sheriffs out there, I said, you all got to get that fixed. Get the E off it, or change it, or apologize, because something's not right here. So either way, it was fun. We had a good time with them, and the sheriffs up there were very embracing. And but it's just what I do, and when it comes to that, and it's an honor to serve all the sheriffs west of the Mississippi.
It's a K instead of a C, so it's Spokane.
Oh, Carol.
Uh-oh, here we go.
No, it's that U of A in her. I mean, that U of A. I mean, I don't know about the English department at U of A, but I can tell you ASU clarifies that very clearly. Yeah.
And you're also busy with Douglas Days. Commander Bradshaw was out there with Sergeant Davidson, and it was a really good turnout, I think, and just expressing our support for the community, and they loved having, our people there and getting to see them, especially our vehicles and just interacting with the people, the communities in Douglas.
Yeah, we had a booth set up down there, and Jesus Davidson's our new community outreach. Ray McNeely got promoted to lieutenant here months back, and so Jesus is kicking in both feet, just out there helping the people and just having a good time. And but they had a booth set up Friday night. Now the conflict is the fact that that's the same night as Cochise College graduation. We fight it every year. That's a lot in Douglas area to be split like that. And then Saturday's always busy. Between Mayor McCall and I, we check our boxes, who went to more events. I think I beat him, though. At least I tell the public that. But he's out there kicking it, too. And so it's really hard. But, again, Jesus and Commander Bradshaw and others that supported that event, thank you.
And, Carol, tell us about some of the scams that we're seeing now at the Sheriff's Office.
It's just never ending. You have people who get calls and they say that it's the sheriff's office. They spoof the number, make it look like it's the sheriff's office. They say you have a warrant and you have to give us this money, and they're very, very convincing. Some of the criticisms that we get feedback on is, seriously, you would know if you have a warrant, right? Well, maybe not. I mean, maybe it's for, jury duty, or maybe it's for a summons that you missed. And so people, being good law-abiding citizens, want to make sure that they don't get crossways with the law. And so the most recent one is a woman actually went to the bank and withdrew $10,000 and was ready to put it into Bitcoin at a Bitcoin machine, and she finally had a realization that something was not correct. So she got off the phone and was able to save herself that amount of money. But it's scary the way that they become aggressive. They threaten you. They make it seem like you have to do this, and they won't let you off the phone.
I'm just going to say,
if we call you and you need to get off the phone, you need to get off the phone. But that's one of the triggers there. They don't want you to have access to anybody with common sense and reasoning, and so that can talk you out of this, or making sure that there's something else that you can be doing. That was a good save. And then even yesterday, people calling into our office saying, oh my gosh, I lost the call and I need to make this payment. And we're trying to reassure everyone, I don't know how much more we can do, but we are not going to stop interacting with our public, making sure that they don't become victims.
The part I really like that's happening, that the message is getting heard. There's no doubt about it. But also the financial institutions, which I've been pressuring to step up and do something on this too. When you have elderly, and we just had a local bank manager recognize that, knew her customer well, which I love that, and said, hey, what are you doing? And he had made the comment he's taken out $6,900 because he had to pay a debt to the sheriff's office, which is so wrong. And the person was on the phone, wouldn't let him off. And that bank manager did the right thing, intervened, killed that, notified us, and it's the right thing to do. So again, thank you to the bank financial people that work with these folks every day, get a personal relationship with them, and recognize that they should be asking those questions.
If you go to the Sheriff's Facebook page, you're going to see Click It or Ticket a lot this week. Sheriff Daniels, what is Click It or Ticket?
It's a seatbelt enforcement. It's a national campaign to keep people safe. And I know some people, especially in rural, will buck us on that one. But at the end of the day, the odds of you have an accident, you get thrown from a vehicle, the probability of survival is greatly decreased. So again, it's a big reminder. It's a big campaign. Click it, ticket. That means if you don't have it clicked, you're not wearing a seatbelt, you get a ticket. And so I know we have our priorities out there, but again, it's a reminder we believe in wearing seatbelts, and plus it's the law.
And it's funded by the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety. So we make sure that we get that funding and we put it right back into getting out there, making sure that there's zero tolerance. That's one of the ways that we are able to conform and make sure that we utilize this funding appropriately.
And we've done this program for years. And you remember, Carol, we go out and do the intersection checks. Remember doing all this? And, I mean, the compliance rate was right around 50%. It was horrible. Mm-hmm. Right now, I believe the compliance rate's up to 80, 90%, somewhere up there. So we have come so far on this. And but, again, it's at 10%. If you really want to look at it, it's a reminder for those that wear it, and it's become a habit. But it's at 10% that just, I'm not wearing a seatbelt. Well, I don't want to drag you off the highway either. So let's work together on that. Get it down to 5%.
And one of the things that we're dealing with right now is fire safety. It's getting hotter. There's like fire warnings, fire watches, fire issues, and we want to make sure that everybody, first of all, signs up for AlertSense. So you get notification. There's a huge fire that was running in Oracle, and they had their areas broken down into, ready, set, go. Again, Sheriff's Office initiative. We want to make sure that people are aware of that, and they have defensible spaces you need to do around your home. And you were talking about Fry Fire.
Yeah, they do. Fry Fire, working with the federal government, it's a grant that promotes defensible spaces. So again, they'll come into and again, I don't want to be the guideline or the spokesman on this and speak in all of the details, but get a hold of Fry Fire Department on Yawkey there and talk to them about it. If you live out in the rural parts in their fire district, are you eligible? They'll come in, I call it lifting the trees. They'll trim up your property, they'll lift the trees because they're promoting defensible space. And they'll come in, they'll chip. If you see a Fry Fire truck, rescue truck, and it's pulling a big yellow thing on the back, it's a chipper. That's clearing land and stuff. And it's making us all safe, especially up in Ramsey Canyon right now. It's been a huge area. I've seen some of their work. It's incredible. So thank you, Mark Savage, the fire chief, and all his team. And I got to give him a shout out too. Yesterday he was out doing that in the Ramsey Canyon area, my neck of the woods, and I saw this guy out there working. I mean, they're just putting, it's hot out there, and they got their coats and the gloves and the helmets, and they're putting this stuff in the chipper, and which is wicked. That thing is wicked. And I had my grandson with me, and we're out there watching it because he likes trucks and stuff. It's really cool. But I call it the tree monster because it's eating trees. But long story short is, when it was all done, I went over to talk to him, and sure enough, it was Chief Savage out there working with the guys. So thank you for leading from the front, Chief. And but again, if you're looking to get some land cleared and you have some trouble, or you need some help getting done, give Fry Fire a call.
There was a jailbreak in New Orleans that's making national headlines, and although that's all the way in New Orleans, as a sheriff, tell us what you think about that.
Well, as sheriffs, 50% of what we do as sheriffs and what we're mandated by most constitutions in our states is to run jails. So you look at this, and the first thing, I just got to share this with you, the first thing that popped in my mind when I saw that is, how'd you miss 10 people running out the back door? A warehouse dock area looked like. That's the first thing. And I get it. It's a large metro-type facility. Well, either way, I don't care if it's a facility holds 5 or a facility holds 1,000. How do you have 10 run out the back door? But the most alarming thing, and I haven't heard the media talk a lot about it, is when they lock them down early evening, which is usually around 8 o'clock, that's similar to ours, they don't check on them or did not check on them until the next morning. So they had an 8-hour advantage. Give me strength. Just so you know, Cochise County Sheriff's Office, in a facility that's in horrific shape, I'll just tell you without getting into great detail, it's in really, really bad shape. We have a system that we check every 30 minutes. And that's for the welfare. The biggest responsibility a sheriff has is not to punish people in jail. It's to safeguard them. And people think, well, you should be punishing them, Sheriff. Well, no. Judges issue punishment and consequences, not sheriffs. We safeguard them. But to see what happened there and to see the press conference, I'm not going to get ill, but I'll tell you, it was very disturbing to watch this. And they had a civilian monitor, not a detention or correctional officer watching. They had a civilian monitor, and she had to step out for lunch. Well, who was watching the shop? I just look at these operational issues. It starts, I'd say it starts with that sheriff, just like it starts with me. But I've been very vocal since I've taken office 13 years is we need a new jail. We have worked hard because they can call it vicarious liability. Once you have knowledge it's not working, you own it. I have knowledge, but also I have defense in the fact that I've been arguing, fighting, and pushing, as we know, our jail district, and now it's been re-challenged again. So we'll see where that all goes. But my team and I were a little frustrated with it at the fact that we've done everything we can do to get where we're at today. But every day I think about this, and this really framed my mindset, and hopefully the public that's listening this morning is, folks, we need a new jail. We don't need that here. That community and beyond, all the way up to even here, it's possible. They've been gone for a week now. Was it 6 days, 7 days?
There's still 5 missing.
Still 5 missing. These aren't people that did criminal littering and throw a cigarette out the window. Not saying that's a good thing, please. These are bad, violent people that are now roaming this country. That just makes me sick. And at the hands of us that are held responsible and should be to protect and safeguard their community and the inmates within.
And switching lanes just a little bit, there was another thing that you did with kids, and I missed it earlier. You had 2 children from Huachuca Mountain. They won a contest, and they got to ride all the way to school with you.
I do it every year for Huachuca Mountain School. Kara Haymore from Huachuca Mountain Elementary School calls me every year and says, hey, we're going to do our annual, the kids will win this award, and then I get to pick them up. I pick them up at their house. I get a hold of the parents, and then I go pick them up. This year it was Logan and Janaea. Picked them up. We go to Circle K. They get their morning healthy snack. You guys can put that together. And the first thing they do, these kids got the sour candy, whatever it's called, the gummy candy with sour, whatever it is. I don't eat that stuff.
Yeah, puckers you all the way through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And a donut. I just saw on social media. Somebody paid like $10 for 2 donuts the other day, and they were complaining. Did you see that?
$4.95, yes, and the math was not quite right because they said $50 for a dozen, but it wasn't. It was $24.50. But regardless, donuts did go up.
Yes. What's going on? We've lost control of our donuts. That's remember the egg pandemic? We should have a donut pandemic. But either way, so both these kids grabbed a donut. I'm like, oh, what's that going to cost me? But either way, it was great. And so I took them to school. We turned the lights on, and I'll give this information to Carol. She'll put it on our Facebook today. But it's just neat to see these kids. And then all the kids, when you pull in, they're all excited. And it's just a lot of fun, the opportunity, because those kids will remember that. I think they're in 4th grade, 5th grade, something like that. I think the one was at 5th, the other was at 4th. But it was just really neat to do that. But thank you to the parents for allowing that, too.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, before you go, how about a Memorial Day message?
Well, as you know, we just ended National Police Week over the last couple weeks, and pretty much this whole month. And the 234, I believe it was, that died at the hands of evil in our community last year. Our prayers go out to them as we conclude National Police Week, and let's just put National Police Month in May here. And now Monday is Memorial Day. We're going to recognize that paid the ultimate price protecting our country, and globally. And so I'll be attending a couple events on Monday on behalf of these heroes. Let's just call them what they are. And so to all those families and to all the military that's paid the ultimate price, God bless you, God bless your families, and thank you for your service.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, thank you for coming in and talking to us today.
Grady, Carol, everybody have a safe Memorial Day weekend. Be safe, and never forget, don't drink and drive. Thank you.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have CCOM Director Tammy Jo Wilkins.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Giving you an inside look to your sheriff's office. Let's go back to First Watch on KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and thank you so much to CCOM Director Tammy Jo Wilkins.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me again.
So all kinds of fun stuff happening at CCOM.
Oh, yes. The most recent thing is the transition of Tombstone Marshal's Office to CCOM full-time. Currently, we dispatch for them on a part-time basis, and starting July 1st, we'll be dispatching for Tombstone Marshal's Office on a full-time basis. What that means is better technology and a lot better response time for the Tombstone area. Tombstone Marshal's Office staff has done an amazing job up until this point, but we're going to take it over and let them do other things.
And kind of taking a step back, remind everybody what CCOM does.
CCOM is the Regional 911 Communications Center. We dispatch for 17 fire departments and 9 law enforcement agencies across the entirety of Cochise County, except for Benson and Douglas area.
And when someone calls 911, that's an emergency service, but you also have a non-emergency number. Tell us what that is and when to use it.
Sure. The non-emergency number is 520-803-3550, and that is for anything non-life-threatening. So non-life-threatening emergencies, you can contact us on the admin line, the 520-803-3550. Otherwise, dial 911 for immediate service.
And so you have staffing. I mean, it's so exciting. As many years as CCOM is, just in its infancy and now going through toddlership. I don't know if that's a word. And then now you're growing into your own. How many people do you have?
We just hired our 18th person. So that person will be starting at the end of July due to vacations pre-planned. But we're super excited to be at 18. There is an extensive training program, so they're not going to be coming in and thrown out there on their own to drink from the fire hose, no pun intended. But we're going to put them through an extensive training program. We are now up to 6 trainers internally from the 3 that we had before, and we're at our 18th person of the 20 that we have budgeted for CCOM.
That's amazing. So that's a first, and congratulations on all your hard work and everybody there who's been, just diligent making sure that they can get this off the ground.
Yes, it's an awesome partnership. Since our transition to Cochise County Human Resources on January 1st, we've been able to get people through the process in a lot faster of a turnaround time. From the date of application to the date of the offer letter, it's about 2 months instead of the 6-7 months that it was.
Right. Good. And then they're going to have a lot to learn with new technology.
Yeah, we have a lot of new technology. We have Priority Dispatch, which is our dispatch protocols where we provide pre-arrival instructions for police, fire, or medical services. We had a dispatcher yesterday do an amazing job on a incident where CPR had to be instructed, and she was on the phone for over 30 minutes until help could arrive, being supportive to the caller and providing the pre-arrival instructions and walking through the CPR. Absolutely amazing job. We do everything from fire instructions to, if there's a house fire, we give instructions to get to safety, and then we give them further instructions as we're dispatching. And then the police calls where we're gathering information of suspect descriptions or direction of travel, all that other good stuff. And as we're on the phone with the callers, we are dispatching that to the first responders or officers, so the use of the protocols reduces response time by several minutes, which is really good because we're starting help and then we're giving instruction so that when the first responders get there, they can take over whatever needs to be done. For example, the CPR. And the response time on that started when we gave the CPR instructions versus when the first responder arrives.
And do you have any future plans coming up? Because you've always got something on the horizon. So what's next for CCOM?
We got this really cool opportunity for some new technology for CCOM. It's called Pano AI. It's actually a free service to Cochise County. There are 2 AI cameras set up in Cochise County, and it actually gives me an alert when there's a teeny tiny plume. And AI has the capability of deciphering if it's actually a fire or if it's a dust devil. So we get this alert, it gives us the lat and long, and what we're probably going to do with the near future is dispatch responders for smoke checks in the area if it hasn't been eliminated as a dust devil, and hopefully reduce how fast the fire spreads and be able to get ahead of it before it gets too big.
That's pretty amazing. Well, you guys always have great things happening at CCOM, and we appreciate what you and your team does for our community.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your continued support, and excited to share everything out there in the community.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Melanie from the Sky Islands Regional Partnership.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Giving you an inside look to your sheriff's office. Let's go back to First Watch on KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and thank you so much, Miss Melanie from, I'm going to get this right, you're the director of the Sky Islands Regional Partnership. Okay,
Yes.
there we go. Formerly known as Sierra Vista Chamber.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about what that does. What do you do there?
So the Chamber of Commerce is our partnership, is a 501c6 organization. So we're a membership-based nonprofit, and we support businesses of all sizes. We help them with marketing, with networking, with getting their business out there in the community to help their sales, help their growth.
And so how many businesses are signed up with your, I keep wanting to say chamber, I'm sorry.
We're still the Chamber of Commerce. We just changed our name.
Okay, good. So how many businesses are signed up with the chamber?
We have approximately 400, and that's across southeastern Arizona.
And you have a Sky Island Foundation. Tell us what that is.
Yes, we do. We created a foundation about 4 years ago, and that's a 501c3 organization. And it's the Sky Islands Foundation, and that one focuses on economic development, leadership development, and workforce development.
And what you have a program that you're working on right now with that foundation that sends somebody for business? Tell me about that.
Yes. So we partner with the University of Arizona Center for Innovation and the City of Sierra Vista, and we actually have tech companies that will pitch to our board of directors. And when they pitch, the winning company actually gets 1 year with the University of Arizona Center for Innovation, and that is a program that helps them take their business from basically point A to point Z. And a lot of tech companies out there, they understand their tech, but they don't necessarily understand how to create and build their business. And so this program actually sends them, they have consultants, they have specialists, they have attorneys, they have everything you need to help get your business set up and running and profitable. And so our foundation will sponsor one tech company each year to go through that program. The cost for that program is actually $10,000, and so it's expensive to go through that program, but in order to get your business set up legally and to help you understand how to run your business, this is an incredible program. And so we're happy to partner with University of Arizona Center for Innovation, and then the City of Sierra Vista does this as well at the same time. And so if you are a business that is centered within Sierra Vista, you'll be pitching to the Economic Development Commission. But if you are not centered in Sierra Vista, if you're somewhere in southern Arizona, then because we're regional, our foundation can sponsor.
So how does a business get involved in this?
That's a great question. And so if you go to our website, skyislandsrp.com, and go to the media page, you will see right there, there's an article, a press release that talks about it. There's a link in there, and you can just click the link to get to the application process.
That sounds amazing. So I bet you everybody's heading there right now.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know, it's wonderful. This is the third year that we've done this. And so every year, to be able to hear these pitches, they're brilliant, they're amazing. And I want people to understand also that when we're talking about tech, we automatically think about things like AI and things like that. But if you think about it, there's tech in just about every field out there, every industry out there. And so in the medical field and all different types of fields. So if you are an innovator, an entrepreneur, and you are trying to get your business going and it's tech related or tech based, please make sure that you click that link. This is going to help you get your business set up and running. And so we're excited, but please make sure that you jump online, skyislandsrp.com, go to the media on the right hand side, click the hamburger, scroll down right there, it's media, and right there you'll see the press release.
All right, that's amazing. So also, you always have something coming up. Do you have any other things you want to touch on before you go that are coming up in the near future?
We have another Good Morning Sierra Vista coming up at the beginning of July, and you can go to the same website, skyislandsrp.com, and get registered for that. And then in August, we'll have our annual expo again, August 23rd. You can register to be a vendor there as well. And then we're off and running. The holidays, we've got Bring a Vet to Lunch in November. We've got our golf tournament that's going to be at the Sierra Vista Golf Center, and that'll be in October. And then we're on to the parade. And I'll be back because we do have a theme for the parade this year, the Christmas parade. And so we'll be back to talk more about that, but that'll be the first Saturday in December.
Every year, you're the first person that mentions Christmas for me. That's just you.
Well, and that's because we have to plan so early because
Yes.
it's a big production. And so we start early in the year planning for that. And, you know, we try to get the theme out there as early as possible because all of our entrants, the floats and all of that, we have a theme. And so they need to start preparing early as well.
All right, for the Sky Island Regional Partnership, give us all your social medias, your contact information, your websites. Give us all of that.
So website, skyislandsrp.com, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn, and just look for Sky Islands Regional Partnership.
All right, well, thanks for coming and talking to us today.
All right, thank you.
And Carol, how do they get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office?
Reach out and check us out at our phone number, 520-432-9500. Our social media is Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mark J. Daniels. That'll be our Facebook page. It'll take you to our Instagram and our X account. And don't forget that YERP Days are in Tombstone this weekend.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. Keep up to date. Follow the Cochise County Sheriff's Office on Facebook. And tune in next Friday, 7 a.m. for First Watch right here on KWCD.